Hello and welcome again. I'm Catherine Young, and this is our channel, Our Courage to Heal podcast. Before we begin, let me just say this. I'm not a professional healer and I cannot diagnose. I'm just another person who has been wounded but guided to receive healing. And now I'm here to share my story with you so that hopefully you too can find your courage to heal and stay on the healing journey. Now, let's begin. This episode is about my journey as a small business owner, creating a brand and living my dream. It's not quite the traditional way you always learned about in manifestation or step-by-step guide. Book 2, The Healing, Chapter 11. I miss creating like a child. I have always loved creating. My first memories are when I took the board game pieces, kitchen pots and pans and set up a cooking business in the living room by the sofa, using brown craft paper as packaging. I can still remember that joy of mindless creating. It's always so fun. I always start with a few colorful cone standees into the pan, then add more to start the frying. And as always, when it's done, I felt a sense of loss or disappointment. It's done. And I never wanted it to be done. I wanted to keep going. And then I had the bedroom full of mystical moments, when blankets become princess robes, beds are castles, and pillows the forts. Every nook and corner of home was a magical wonderland where dreams and stories came alive. Sometimes it's great when Mom was too busy for us. We ran around the house, and sometimes even at meal times, we only stopped by our au pair to grab a bite. The only downtime were during showers, TV time, and sleep. It took me a long while, almost 7 years, to realize that I founded WMB Studio because deep down, I really want to keep creating, keep having fun, keep dreaming, and keep going on. I wanted it to be a journey that would never be done. I have by now pivoted my business 4 times since I started. For each time a challenge presents, I just wanted to find ways to keep it going and make it more fun. But in this journey, I realized there were the new terms called profit and loss. And the fun soon gave way to stress, worries, and fear. I experienced moments of lack and stuck that made me want to stay away from this fun sometimes. I got scared and I didn't know what to do. It felt as if fun had stopped and I was just creating and dreaming up nothing for nothing. I felt like an imposter and I sometimes went into hiding. Other times I got so paralyzed by fear I might even fall sick. By looking back at my career since pre-uni days, I realized that had never happened before when I was marketing for other brands and products. I was confident and I would mostly have fun and just meet the targets anyway. Now, it's about my brand, my product, my creations. It's like a judgment or mark of approval. It suddenly got so serious and personal. I felt really small in this big world of uncertainty and competition. I got scared. I experienced failures, failed launches, and crickets. Although there were successful moments, like when I sold the first hundreds of my best-selling items in days, the emotions that were stuck with me and new product launches were still the fear and worries of past failed launches. These fears and worries made me forget the fun I just had. For the whole of 2024, I had been having fun. I started Our Courage to Heal podcast channel and ideas for the episodes just flow freely. I was also preparing for the celebratory Born to be Bold collection to express my gratitude and joy for this growth experience. All the way, I was excited and pumped. until the day I launched. Then I remembered all the scary moments when other past collections hadn't worked out. I could slowly feel the fear of failure and rejection. I was so scared. I knew I had turned my heart desires into heart disease. I had so much worries. They always said time will heal, but I know time will maybe heal the intensity of things, but it will not erase. Unless I've put in the work to mind my mind, I may still feel strongly when triggered. So I decide to put in the work to heal from these past experiences. Healing is work put in to nurture ourselves, mentally and emotionally, so that we can have the loving mindset to unconditionally stand by our dreams, our goals, and most importantly, ourselves when triggered. Fear, worries, and feeling of lack keep us small. It blurred our vision and silenced our instincts. For a moment before, we could have the best ideas, and the next we would fear about the budget and what if it didn't work out. Yes, this negative energy only focus on what if it didn't work. A moment ago, I was excited about how I can use Google Ads to promote my designs, and the next I would worry that the money spent would bring nothing in return. I knew I had experienced what hadn't worked in the past. I experienced what I feared most, and I criticized myself with failure. Despite the fact that this time round, I had put in all I had learned before to create with ease and grace and follow my heart, the weight made me doubt. I needed to remind myself to follow the ideas and instincts that are coming through, because in business, the most expensive thing we can do is to violate a hunch. And the best way to connect to our hunch is to be at ease and peace. We have to live fully in the beautiful now with joyful appreciation for life. Be joyful often and connect within and listen to our hearts. So as I continue to hear the toxic chatter in my mind, I started practicing answering each negative thought with a word or phrase. Whenever a negative thought strike, I would say, flowers and petals. What do I mean, you might ask? I choose a word or phrase that will present a beautiful image in my mind to cut out the negative thoughts swiftly. Flowers and petals. This helped to end our critical mind chatter. I allow myself to hear and feel the fear, worries, and lack when they show up, but I do not allow them to encamp in my subconsciousness. I do not engage in a conversation more than I should. If I'm worried about the business, I learn to let it go and find joy in my day, be it a walk in the park or having a meal with my family, just keeping my mind free of thoughts or exercising. Something mindless. And sometimes if I'm really stuck, I may plan a day out. When we feel lack of ideas, we are probably too occupied with feelings of lack to work anyway. Time to step away. At the time when I write this podcast, I was so worried about the new collection launch that I had to walk away from it. I fell sick and I thought, what a great reason. When I recovered, the first thing I did was to spend 2 days or more in my studio creating summer pieces for my wardrobe. I realized I have missed all the fun and sat far too long in front of my laptop trying to figure out moving from markets to online. I spontaneously designed and sewed without any sketches, 2 dresses, 2 skirts, and made plans for many more. All the time, I didn't know how the apparel would look like. I was just designing on the spot and feeling excited and looking forward to the end look. I was so pleased and I thought, let's keep playing and have fun. And I was very pleased with the new summer wardrobe that I have. When I'm done, I amassed enough courage and activated my Google Ads account, and I set up a campaign so quickly when previously I was clueless where to go. It was like I'm connected to the universal creative genie again. I was introduced to Google Ads DIY channel on YouTube. I got all the images, AdWords going, and I actually felt pumped starting my campaign, and I'm going to enjoy designing and selling online. Our natural state is to go with the flow, and our instincts and guidance will keep showing up to guide us to our purpose when we are most at peace and at ease. Mostly, fear and its other friends stop this flow and keep our creative self small. But all we need to do is to release fear by focusing on what we can do and continue the flow. We need the correct energy to be present fully for our dreams, projects, business, or work. We need to cancel out distractions and play fully like a child to access our infinite ideas. We can feel deeper level of connection to the details of our dreams and create from a place of pure joy and love. We will feel the gratitude and deep sense of satisfaction when our work is done. Now, with a very clear mind, I was able to tell myself, I just launched and I haven't done enough advertising. Now keep learning the advertising and showing up, and sales will flow through. When we have amassed enough guiding posts, our people will know their way to our shop. And with that, I continue to play in the WMB Studio playground over and over again, expanding my areas of fun and assessing infinite ideas over and over again. And when fear, worries, and lack show up, I say, flowers and petals. Then I leave the playground and only come back again when I'm ready to play again. Building a dream and following our soul purpose is a lifelong journey. It can never be done. It's a long journey, and we'll have many different experiences that will give us new skills and invaluable lessons to journey ahead. In the process, we can also pick up more fears, worries, and lack, for we are only human, and our life experiences may have taught us to tune into them, and that's okay. We can acknowledge their presence and learn to work with them. Leave the negativities often, continue to find new joy, and connect often with our inner joy to reignite our passion. This will light up our inner guiding post to show us the next steps. Know that doubts, fears, worries, lack of reasoning keeps away our good. Allow connection. Do not zone out and turn away from what is happening, even when it is painful. Be gentle with ourselves, but be persistent on our paths. If we cannot proceed along a certain course, find another way, and do not abandon our dreams. Be receptive. Sometimes a change in the course is the universe's way to redirect us to our true paths. Things may seem like they're not working out at the moment, but have faith and know that they are still going to work out. Let's place one hand on our hearts. Sense the wisdom and power of our hearts. Our hearts have the ability to guide us from within to receive infinite wisdom and directions from the universe. Know that although we seem to be working alone on our dreams, we are never alone. There's no need to hold ourselves hostage to shame, blame, guilt, anger, judgment, or fear. Our perceived failures and roadblocks are simply life experiences that we sometimes have to amass to acquire the new skills needed to fulfill our paths. I am still working on my dream to connect, heal, and grow with the world through my podcasts and artistic expressions. I know this is an experience I love to partake and grow. And therefore, any moment lived in self-doubt, fear, lack of reasoning is a moment too long living away from my dream. It's short-changing the original full experience I have wished for. We may be blindsided at times, but always remember to come back to the inner child who is creating freely, excited about the whole process, and always don't want it to end. Dear one, this episode is not about the formula to earning or manifesting the next million. It's a formula to live our best life, Be a child. Play like a child. Create like a child. Follow your heart. Amass enough guiding posts to journey on your soul purpose. I will be rooting for you.